This episode is sponsored by SmartVestor. Connect with an investing pro for free at RamseySolutions.com/invest. You're listening to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires, where we talk investing, retirement, building wealth, and outrageous generosity.
So here's a trend out, and if you've listened to my show, Rachel, over the last couple of years, I've taken more and more calls about people struggling with gambling. More gambling and more gambling. And now as sports betting, as municipalities and cities and states have been wanting to get in on the gambling action, more and more places are legalizing sports betting, especially on their phones. And check this out, dude. This is an article here that just says Americans spend more money betting on sports than investing in stocks. Recent data reveals that since sports betting has become legalized in much of the U.S., households are diverting their income to gambling rather than investing in the stock market. Net investments have dropped 14%, as in 2023 alone, the American sports betting industry hit a record-breaking $10.9 billion in revenue. So,
can I say this?
Wildcats, dude.
As a woman, a girl, I don't know.
As a woman.
I don't understand. I don't understand it. Now, going to Vegas, and I've admitted it on the show, and rolling some dice and playing some craps is so fun.
The
it is so fun.
single biggest loss I've ever
taken
taken in my life was standing next to Rachel Cruz at a craps table.
Sometimes it doesn't always happen, but when you get on a hot streak, it's like so fun because everyone's cheering, you're making everyone money. It is a fun entertainment moment. When you bet on sports, you do nothing for you don't get to participate in it. That's what I don't understand the fun is. It's more fun when you're betting and like you're the one playing the game.
Yeah, but you're missing out on
this is like
the whole sports industry of America is instead of going out like my dad, I have these vivid memories of going when I was a kid to my dad was always in a softball league. Always into something. We don't do that anymore. We pay other grown men and women, bajillions of dollars to play sports for us. Now we pay them to
make us money.
To make us money or to lose money, right? We've outsourced everything.
Yes, and now there's commercials for sports. What's the one?
Everywhere.
I don't know much about it, but it's the
I don't want to give anybody publicity there.
But that's what's crazy to me is now you didn't see that 10 years ago.
No.
But the commercials now for it, I'm like, oh my gosh.
38 states have legalized gambling, and it's become a growth industry, generating more than $120 billion in total bets.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, $11 billion in 2023. Yeah.
In 1 year.
No, 120 billion total bets, and 11 billion revenue 1 year. Yeah. And investing has taken a hit. And so there's an average 7.7% of households made online bets of one of these studies with about $1,100 a year. And here's the challenge. And here's the deal. They know this about lottery. It impacts low-income people more, right? If you don't owe anybody on your house, a house payment, if you don't owe anybody credit cards, if you've got a stable job, you can go to Vegas and spend a couple $100 and lose it, and it's annoying, and you can go, man.
Yeah, sure.
If you don't have $200 to gamble because that's your light and your water bill, and yet you think, man, if I hit, this could change everything for me.
Yep.
It's an outsized impact on you for doing the same exact behavior, right? This study says that financially constrained households are particularly noticing the negative effects here.
And I think what's hard too,
kills, man.
This is what I don't like about gambling, the lottery, anytime you are delegating out winning financially to someone else or to a system is you're putting your hope in something that there's no payoff in, right? And it's different when you're investing over a period of time because there is a proven track record that your money will make money.
There's a proven track record in the lottery. Somebody wins. Maybe it's going to be me this time.
But every time you put money in the market, for the most part, over time, over the long haul, your money's going to make money. But for gambling, the lottery, all of it, it is like it's a quick win idea that my life is going to change because of this one play that I'm doing. And that's so much easier than playing the longer game financially.
And check this out. As it applies to the message that Dave's been talking about for 30 years, increase in betting and consumption drives an increase in financial instability in terms of decreased credit availability and increased credit card and a higher incidence of overdrawn accounts. What does that mean? People are putting, now that it's all so easy on your phone, everyone's just putting on their credit card. They're just taking out money and putting it on bets, and people are going into debt to make financial bets, and you lose. And I got to make it back, dude. So I'm going to take out another loan,
that's right.
and now I find myself way over my head.
Yep. Because what is it? I mean, I think the same is true. Like when you buy something, right? The excitement, the dopamine. But when you're betting,
there's the anticipation, and then boom, and the payoff, and
which is what your cortisol. Like what's going on?
I mean, the nerdiness doesn't matter as much as you have a biochemical response in your body that begins to build that apprehension, and the great Anna Lemke describes it as a teeter-totter. The more on one side of the teeter-totter, your body's way of leveraging it is pain. It hurts, right? That's the next morning after a bender. You are in physical pain, and the only way people sometimes handle that pain is by doing it again, right? Is increasing it again, and you just get on this teeter-totter of anticipation, and then wham, and it drops you below baseline, and so your dopamine falls off a cliff, right?
Yeah, and is that where the addiction starts to play in? Because some people I know, it's like
addiction is I don't want to hurt.
Yep.
Right. And so I'm going to come up with a behavior. Instead of dealing with that core hurt, I'm going to come up with a behavior, and my body's going to begin to automate a behavior that helps hurt less. And unfortunately, when it comes to addiction, you need more and more of that behavior to cover up higher and higher amounts of pain of your body trying to equalize itself, right? Get back to equilibrium. And it just hurts on top of hurts on top of hurts. And you find yourself, I'm putting sports gambling on a credit card, right? It's mess. What a mess we're in. What does this mean? Don't gamble unless you can set that money on fire in your living room and you can laugh about it.
Yep.
Right?
Totally. Yes. Yeah. We always say that. I mean, if there's anything that you're doing financially that has a big risk, gambling would be one. Playing craps when you're in Vegas once a year, I would include that.
Yeah.
Crypto, I would put crypto in the same bucket. Like anything that does not have a long-term track record, anything that has a high level of risk for you to lose that money, even investing in a friend's business or something, come to you with this idea, hey.
Make sure you've got the other side of the barbell secured.
That's right. So that's the point, is like anytime you're going to do any of these like risky level moves financially, to your point, emotionally, you have to be able to set that money on fire and you're fine. Meaning you're out of debt, you have a fully funded emergency fund, you are investing 15% of your income into retirement. So instead of investing going down, the amount of people investing going down, it needs to be the opposite for you. If you're not investing, you need to get yourself in a place where you are, because that is a proven track record for your money to make money in the long term. And if you have kids, you're saving for college, you know, you're paying off the house. And once the house is paid off, then it's like, okay, I have disposable income. We are in a solid place financially that we're not going to harm ourselves by, putting, a small amount of money in this, that, or that, playing this, playing that. But just know what you're getting into as well, and know yourself. There's a level of self-awareness that, like, if you do have that kind of personality that you know yourself, that you're going to keep going. I
like to say any sort of vice needs to be for fun, not for strategy.
Oh, that's great,
right?
John.
So if you want to have a drink with your buddies and you all laugh real loud, you tell little stories, great. If drinking makes you feel better at the end of the day, you need to deal with that. If it's a way you can deal with, I remember this is going to get dark. I used to give a survey to my grad students, and I remember every year I started stopping the conversation because one of the questions was, I need 3 or 4 drinks or 2 or 3 drinks to engage in some sort of sexual activity. I remember saying, hey, if you have to drink to override your body's natural brake system, don't do that, right? If you have to gamble to feel alive again, go talk to somebody, right? Because good. I want you to feel alive in your own skin. So it can be fun, but don't use it as a strategy.
That's a great point. So good.
Thanks for listening to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires. Need help with your investments? Connect with a SmartVestor Pro at ramseysolutions.com/invest or click the link in the show notes. Ramsey Solutions is a paid non-client promoter of participating pros. Learn more at ramseysolutions.com/smartvestor.